Hello and welcome to the season finale of Critical Damage, Emerson's #1 esports talk show. I'm your host, Will Snyder, and I'm joined once again by Ian Copeland and Jack Reiber. Let's start today with my personal favorite esport. Guys, you know it. It's Rocket League. Fans are accusing the defending world champions, the General NRG, of disconnecting on purpose. Accusations have happened as player Justin disconnects in games where they are trailing, and they are being accused of using that disconnect to their advantage. Do you think it gives them a competitive edge?
Absolutely. Free.
For
Absolutely.
sure.
Especially the way that Rocket League treats disconnects. And I think that's honestly the core of the problem here. Because if we had a better system, if there was a better way of dealing with disconnects than the current method of just pausing the game, having the coaches call a technical timeout, that doesn't work for me. That doesn't work in my eyes.
And they restart the point, right? Once the disconnect
they
happens.
restart from kickoff, same score line, same time on the clock, so it's very simple there. I know you got some crazy ideas on how we're doing it, but let's just take a look on how pervasive the problem is. Right now, we have some clips. We're starting off. We're just going to see the General NRG in 3 consecutive matches. We'll have Justin disconnect, and it just becomes, at this point, like you've got to wonder, like what is that's why people
what is going on?
What is going on?
Like if you do not have, you are a competitive player, and I understand that internet is not the same all over the world. But again, we're getting back to
in-person
events.
Yeah.
I know this wasn't, but
it's all about the consistency of it and when it's happening.
Yeah.
You see they're down 2-0 in 2-0 in the semifinals. They get the technical timeouts, Justin disconnects, and they're able to bring that game back, win that game, and eventually win the series.
What a coincidence that he disconnects, and then he's the one who gets the goal and wins the game.
A little bit.
That's a little suspicious.
That's how it
to me.
happens. And then we see the match before, the quarterfinals, they're down both 1-0 in game and series, and we are going to see Justin just standing still in the corner. You know, he's vibing. Oh, nope, he's gone. So
that must be so frustrating.
But there's no way it would happen again, right? But first of all, let's just look at this goal real quick. That was just
that was good.
I just put that in for me, you know. I just wanted to watch it again. It's the same game. It's relevant, guys.
Lord.
I swear, it's relevant.
Oh, my Lord.
I put it in for a reason, just to show that they won, not just because I wanted to look at that amazing goal again.
Oh my Lord.
All right. And then, well, yeah. So 2 times, that's fine. You know, it happens. What is it, like 3 times a pattern? Isn't that the phrase? Down 1-0.
3 times is a pattern. I would. If
Down 1-0, grand finals, it happens.
Literally right next to the goal.
Again.
That one hurt. That one hurt.
It can't be a coincidence what's happened. The same player 3 times, all when he's losing. That's suspicious to me.
Now,
like if it's a thing that you can trigger, like I have reason to believe that that's cheating.
And here's the solution in my eyes. I say, play out the point. I say if they disconnect, play out the point, and then afterwards you can pause. Honestly, again. I know 1 point is a very big deal in a game like Rocket League. Honestly, it's bigger than, say, a round in CS:GO. But like this is serious. This is a very serious
problem.
It's
a big problem. But here's the thing,
pervasive.
Justin. It's not like just to defend like the accusation of it being done on purpose. Like Justin disconnects on stream all the time. He has internet problems, so stuff like this will happen. The only thing is that when it does, like, how are they going to deal with it?
Yeah.
But speaking of how, I just want to throw one more thing, that I believe that the RLCS referees are good about possession, and if you disconnect while the other team has possession, they play it out until that team
loses possession.
Okay, as well as unless that disconnected player was like about to make a play on the ball and disconnects, and they say that the disconnect directly affected the outcome of the score, then they'll take that score back. And there has been controversy about them not taking scores back in the past. And we also saw some high-level pros, the GOAT Turbo Postal, taking to Twitter to talk about the issue. We'll look at that in a minute, and then there's a little back and forth between him and another player. And, this stuff might just keep happening as we continue in the offline world. I mean, like I said, even though we are still in pandemic era, this would be an offline tournament no matter what.
I think Ian has an
or
interesting
online, excuse me.
I think Ian has an interesting solution. It's just like, how is it fair to the player, like to Justin, the team who has a disconnected player, to then play off the point missing one teammate? It's a very team heavy sport, like you need all three players to pull off these amazing
Exactly.
plays.
Here you see Turbo also make a jab at if he said if I DC game 2 every series, maybe I'll win a regional, which is hilarious. He's the best player of all. He's one of the best of all time, so that's really funny. Then another best of all time, Squishy said, it's a lot of fun not knowing if your teammate will disconnect from a game at any time, causing a goal that won't be disallowed.
Yeah, so it's definitely getting on the nerves of some players.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
that was
obviously, like, here's the thing, like, they're playing the game. Like, they don't, like, while pause might be great, you don't want to pause in the middle of the game. When you're playing Rocket League, it's
absolutely
all, like, it's so much muscle memory, and it's a lot of just,
It's
like,
so momentum-based.
it's
Yeah,
so momentum-based. And if all of a sudden just halts right there and you just have to take a stop without even it being expected to, the worst thing is imagine rotating back and seeing your teammate just in the corner just not moving. And, and if you see it's Justin, you're like, he's gone.
Yeah.
Sizz, that's the coach. Sizz, let him know he's gone. It's wild
I don't
that
like
this stuff just keep happening.
I don't like this one
You
bit.
don't like this one bit? Then let's talk about something else. Then let's talk about something else. You want to talk about something else?
Okay,
Let's
yeah.
talk about the new shining stars of North America. The former True Neutral roster, Shad, Raisbull, and AJG, former South American champions last year, decides to move to NA and are crushing teams left and right. And then the roster got dropped. And the theory is, are they about to be picked up by a major org? Now, I got some theories.
Okay.
I got some theories,
Okay.
guys. I got
Okay.
some theories. As we just look at them dominate teams left and right, just amazing plays all around. They're fast, they play competitive,
Sounds like
and they're a lot of fun to watch. You know what esports org is a lot of fun to watch?
Tell us, Will.
100 Thieves!
Okay,
Oh,
well,
really?
100 Thieves!
Interesting pick.
And there is evidence behind this, I swear. I swear.
Okay.
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 Tell us, explain your reasoning.
Twitter.
Twitter. Oh,
Twitter.com.
okay.
We have
Twitter.com is a terrible source.
Yeah,
Let's correct the
I
show.
wouldn't use that
Twitter.com is a
as your
terrible
source.
What if,
That's not very
what if
convincing.
my source
That's not-
on
that's
Twitter,
not
what if my
journalistic,
source
Will
on
Snyder.
Twitter is one of the owners of 100 Thieves?
Oh my lord! All right.
One
well,
of the
you know what?
owners.
What did the owner of 100 Thieves say?
Why don't we take a look?
Oh my lord!
So, amidst this person also like starting to dabble in Rocket League, they tweet out a picture of the Rocket League esports shop saying, "Yo, 100 Thieves, why ain't we on this?"
Okay.
So like a little first hint, you know, it's
Flirting
going.
with the
and
idea.
Then on their Instagram, 100 Thieves post this. Would you use this skin along with pictures of a skin that my wallet would not find enjoyable? Because they are really cool, and I would get them. And I
Designed
want 100
for
Thieves.
designed for the players, designed for the team.
Exactly. Well, the way the esports shop works is that everyone can use them, and players also you don't have to use the skin in game, which I feel makes sense. So.
Is 100 Thieves the type, though, to pick up a whole roster? I mean, obviously, these players are already compatible. They already have great teamwork built up. But is this the kind of move that 100 Thieves would make as an organization?
I mean, I can't think of a time that they've done something like pick up a whole roster before, but, you know, we'll see what happens. They're a big org, and, you know, the future's the future.
That's true.
We're going to take a commercial break, but when we come back, is the Smash franchise over? Maybe. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Critical Damage. Moving to the Smash franchise, Nintendo touching on the future of the game earlier this month. The creator of the series, Masahiro Sakurai, saying outright, creating a sequel will be, quote, impossible. Jack, this may not be the news that the community wanted, but it must have made fans' hearts sink across the world.
Well, it may have been disappointing initially to hear that Sakurai said that a sequel Smash Bros. Ultimate would be impossible. I think he rightfully so. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
in the interview, like the person asked, would there ever be a sequel to Smash Bros. Ultimate? And he said, impossible, multiple times. And afterwards he said him and Nintendo have no finalized plans for a sequel. And I think that makes sense. Smash Bros. Ultimate is such a massive game with not only a large roster and many game modes, but the amount of legal ties it has to other video games,
Yeah.
the representation of all other video games, it makes it Smash Bros. The video game.
I'm letting you know there will be another Smash game for one reason only.
Why is that, Will? He just the creator of Smash Brothers himself said it was impossible.
I don't
so
care.
explain to
I
me
don't care. I
what
don't
kind of
care.
insight you have.
I think you guys
they-
are misreading this. I think there's no Super Smash Brothers Ultimate sequel because you cannot expand on Ultimate. Ultimate is such a massive project; it would not be able to be made with anyone with less clout than Sakurai.
Okay, so hold on. So they're saying there won't be a sequel to Ultimate, or there won't be another Smash game? Because that's what I took it as.
In the interview, Sakurai was saying he doesn't know how continuing the Smash franchise, like how he would go about it. He doesn't know if he would want to be involved with it.
Okay.
He doesn't know if he was to choose to not get involved with it and Nintendo decide to make a new Smash Bros. Game, who would he leave the keys to the kingdom with?
So
Now, okay, the keys to the kingdom. What exactly, like we keep talking about Sakurai, and yes, he's done amazing stuff, but he's one person. Like, how much say does he really have in a franchise that's this big?
So, I actually have a great answer for you.
Oh, no.
So, a few weeks ago, Sakurai was on the director of Tekken's podcast, Harada-san, and they sat down, and Harada-san was talking a lot about, because Harada is the head of Bandai Namco, which is the company that develops Super Smash Brothers. Sakurai and his wife are the only two from Nintendo directly that work on the game in a directorial role. So Harada-san was saying that, hey, you are such a well-renowned and well-known character in the industry, and honestly, to me, he seems like a diplomat. Sakurai seems like the diplomat that makes things like Cloud happen, like Snake happen.
Like Sora.
So he's the one who gains all the connections, so that they
Yes,
can get all the rights to all the
networker. He's the one
characters.
who makes Smash Bros. Possible. It makes it the crossover combination.
Again, before
That
Smash
is true,
4,
but
Cloud,
I'm gonna say Nintendo's a large company.
Oh,
They
yeah.
got a lot of resources.
Oh, yeah.
They probably know a lot of other companies on their own. And I didn't get to say my reason that there will definitely be another Smash game because I was so rudely interrupted.
But you don't need
And
a new
again.
Smash game. You don't need a new Smash game.
Say
because
your
Smash
point, Will.
Bros.
Money,
Will,
it's money.
I
There's-
know it's money.
they're
Everyone
gonna make
knows
another
it's money.
game.
Everyone
Why
knows
would
it's
you
money.
need more
Everyone knows it's money,
when
Will.
Smash Ultimate is still making so much
my
money?
Lord.
Yeah, but it
Again,
won't make
4
money
years later,
forever.
we are still having so much happening with the game.
I'm not saying a new game needs
Where's
to
the
be made.
art? Huh? Where's the topic about art? Huh?
Okay, do you want to do this right now?
Let's do this right now.
Fine.
You know what? These guys are taking off
A
their
new
jackets.
Smash
I'm
Brothers
saying
game is
cool,
not
all right?
necessary right now.
I'm
Not when we
saying
still
I'm
have
not
Smash
saying right
Brothers
now.
Ultimate.
I'm not saying right now in the slightest. Smash is still a great game. It's still super playable. It's not even close to being solved. Like there's no reason to have another Smash game now. I'm talking about the future. Like why would you shut off possibilities of another game? Speaking of which, why would you shut off possibilities of any more characters in Smash Ultimate?
We don't need more characters in
I know
Smash
you
Ultimate.
don't
We
need
have
more,
like
but you just
80.
said
All right,
said it makes no sense to have a new Smash game right now, which I agree with. But if it's going to be a few more years, I think it could be even
to
a decade.
focus on
It
the
could be
game
a
that we
decade.
already
I
have,
think
the
I think
complete
Smash
package
Ultimate.
that we've
I
been
think
left
Smash
with.
Ultimate could be around for another decade just because
Yes.
it's that polished.
Yes.
But if you're gonna have that, you need new content.
No, you just said
All
it was
right,
a
all
complete
right, all right.
package.
Will Snyder, you zoomer, absolute Fortnite season 12, 12 seasons a year zoomer. All right.
You need to keep stuff fresh. You need to add stuff to keep.
No. I disagree. Not when you still have so
No,
much
because
going
you
on.
guys are both focusing on like the pro scene.
All right,
New
let's talk
techniques,
about the new
ca-
techniques.
like,
Let's
okay,
talk about the new techniques.
Boost rolling, for example. Like we talk about how this game is there's still. You just said how the game isn't solved. There's still so much more to be discovered. An old technique from Smash 4, boost rolling, was just recently discovered in Smash Ultimate. Boost rolling is a technique that allows players to travel across the stage faster. Like a roll is how you like evade attacks and whatnot.
Because a forward roll goes
A forward
faster
roll
than
goes farther than a
further.
back roll, and this allows back rolls to go as far as a forward roll. And then, yes.
I understood that.
Okay, good. It was for the viewers at home who might not be as familiar. As you can see right here, Mario is zooming across the stage. In 3 rolls, he goes almost 3/4 of the entire stage, which is not normally
It's a perfect
how it
pivot
works.
and then a roll. That's it. It's really
Precisely.
It's
And
like, is it a frame perfect pivot? Is that what it has to
you
be?
have 2 frames?
2 frames
2-frame
to do
window,
the-
so it's
Wow.
tight.
It's
It's very,
very,
tight.
very
And that's
tight.
why,
Very
that's why
tight.
again, we're only discovering it now.
And what is
But
that, 60 FPS?
Yes, 60
Oh
frames
my
per second. So
goodness.
that's 1/30th of a second.
So
Yeah.
Still.
that is
That is
very
a
low
very
time.
tight
Yeah,
window.
so it'll be tricky, and it'll be interesting to see how players
How it develops.
develops. And speaking of players developing things, the tier lists and characters are completely up in the air.
Let's go.
Incineroar and Jigglypuff almost made top 8 in a super major.
It's
Port
true.
priority 6. Jigglypuff and Incineroar, notable low tiers, tickling the top 8.
Oh, yeah.
MK Leo, Leon, Fatality Ward in this tournament.
Yeah. And you know what?
I-
I love chaos.
Isn't
Again,
it,
I'll say
isn't
it again.
it amazing?
I love
It's the
chaos,
magic
all
of
right?
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Listen, nothing makes me happier when a Bowser or a Jigglypuff. I believe there is a Bowser in this conversation. isn't
Yes,
there? Yes.
Leon,
Leon,
the greatest Bowser to ever play.
Oh my
He
God.
pushes Bowser so far in the metagame. By far, he's proven that he is the best heavyweight in the entire game.
Oh, yeah.
No contest. He got 5th. 5th place with a heavyweight with Bowser.
uh-huh.
He was doing Bowser sides against Fatality's Captain Falcon.
That's brutal.
It
Oh
was it was magical. That never happens in a tournament. And look at him go. There he goes. And
That's funny.
he won the
That was
game.
so
He did
good.
it twice in this entire match, and he
That's-
won.
that's dirty.
He won
that-
game 1 with it. It was so funny.
Listen, as a man
sad.
from Atlanta, Georgia, I love me some Fatality. I've met Fatality. I've played him.
Shut the front
Yeah,
door.
yeah, of
You've
course.
met
Yeah.
Fatality?
He used to come to locals all the time. Back in Smash
What?
4. Yeah, I met Fatality a few times. He's just a guy. He's just a Captain Falcon player in
But he's a
Atlanta.
really good Captain
Yeah.
Falcon player.
I played him. Oh man,
You
Void.
played him?
I played him and I played Void in bracket before. Yeah, still, but
Wait, are you like
Are you?
good?
no.
Oh,
I,
okay.
it was no. They destroyed me. They destroyed me. Let me clarify
Dude,
that.
Void?
Did you
Yeah.
take a stop?
He's so
Not
good.
off of Void. Not
off
off
of
of
Void?
Void.
Okay.
Still, I think I got 1 on Fatality, but this was Smash 4, different time.
Okay.
So it doesn't count.
Hey. All right. Still, point is, yeah, no, this hurts to watch, but heavyweights, this is brutal. This is hard to watch.
And I mean,
Yeah,
obviously
the person
these aren't
that
the
you were
only.
only able to take 1 stock off just got Bowser sided twice.
All right,
How does
all
that-
right, all right,
That
Will
basically
Snyder,
means you
listen.
got Bowser sided twice. Just saying.
Oh my lord.
And they're not the only characters that are doing well. I mean, Sora has just came out, and there's still so much to be discovered. I know Zachary, one of the best players in Japan, won a super major with him.
Yeah,
and he
absolutely.
just came out, and he won a major with him.
Yeah.
There's still so much to be discovered.
It's
So
the
obviously-
mobility.
He was
for it.
fighting-
Obviously, Soren is the exception to the rule right here, but do you think that a lot of the reason we've seen more low-tier characters get pro play is because of quarantine and
Perhaps.
players get bored of just playing their mains over and over and they're like, let's
That
try
could be
this
it.
character.
That
Let's
could be
lab
it.
let's lab this character
It's
for a
also
bit.
returning to in-person play. It allows plays like this to happen, where after second hit of neutral air, Zachary is able to combo into 77%. And not from just one move. He was able to get a whole string going.
Well, this is also at max rage. Let's be fair. This is a very specific situation, but it is still
a
absolutely
very
brutal.
impressive combo.
Yeah. Also, I'm shocked that you can't kill Sora at 150 as Pirate here.
Maybe
That's
it's
surprising.
just because Zachary has a god tier SDI.
Lord.
Maybe it's because he's just so good. And I'm not saying he's like the greatest player in Japan, but he's like,
Oh, yeah,
ve-
no,
he- like
but-
they're like I mean you had so many people in that tournament. You had Shuton, you had T, you had Ken, you had Komi, and Zachary, who's when he started out he was 15, right?
Oh yeah.
His feet could not touch the floor when he sat on the main stage.
Yeah,
His feet
yeah,
would
that was
dangle,
funny.
and he would body the best players of North America across the world.
Oh, yeah.
glitched. I
Hold
think
on,
that was a tournament.
is that true or is that
Yeah,
just
no,
like
that's
exaggeration?
100%
Oh, that's
true.
true. His feet.
I'm not
you
even
see?
exaggerating.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's
That's really
they
funny.
would zoom in on his feet dangling on the.
Okay, that's just mean.
And another 15-year-old, Spargo, faced off against Light at SmashCon.
These Smash Kitties, I swear to God.
These Smash Kitties,
hold on.
they're coming out of the woodworks
Oh, yeah.
lately.
Oh,
They were like one positive thing about competitive play moving to an online format is that these little kids could get off on.
Hold on. If I,
Okay, that's
These little
disrespectful
kids.
to
Oh,
these
my
players
Lord.
with amazing
they're good. They're
talent.
pros. They're pros.
They are
Um,
pros. They are
Okay,
pros.
if I get this one right, mad props. Spargo plays Cloud, right?
Yes, he does.
Let's go!
Well done.
Oh my
Did you just
goodness.
mad props yourself? Did you say mad
On
props
air.
if I get this
I
right?
said, yeah, but I
Mad-
didn't know.
mad
I
props if I know what
thought
I'm
did,
talking
'cause
about.
This was a while ago, but I'm like that.
Yeah, no, he
thank you.
at
I'm
Cloud
impressed.
versus
I-
Fox, who is a much more a character who has much better matchups.
Was this a light? Was this
Light, yeah,
Was this
yeah,
moist
Light.
light?
Moist Light
Moist
was
Light,
winning.
uh-huh.
He won a super major with
Yeah.
Fox. Again,
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, it's wild what's happening with
yeah.
Smash Brothers right
It's a
now.
great time right now. Also,
Oh yes, about the
recently.
tournaments with Panda Global.
Panda
Oh my
Global has
goodness.
been doing God's work for Smash Brothers, is what I'm gonna let you know.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo is sponsoring a championship series of Smash Ultimate, which isn't unprecedented, but it's rare. It's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And this also includes Melee. Nintendo of America tweeted the hashtag Super Smash Brothers
Brothers
Melee.
Melee.
It has been 20 years.
Is that all?
with
Was that the whole
silence.
tweet?
No, that
No,
wasn't
no,
the
no,
whole
it was-
tweet. But it was
Like,
a
that's
full
really
announcement.
cryptic.
It was a full announcement.
Yeah,
But
they
oh my
retweeted Panda
Lord,
Global's
oh
announcement.
my Lord, this is.
Unprecedented.
I don't believe. I did not believe it when
That's
I
what
saw
I'm telling you. It's just the beginning
is-
with Smash Brothers.
So I guess I don't have to, but on three, do we want to say our answer to if the Smash franchise is over?
it. Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Three,
no.
And with that, we're going to take one more break, but when we come back, our wrap-up of the 2021 League of Legends World Championships.
Hi, I'm Mary, and I'm a debater on Speechless, and you're watching the Emerson Channel.
Hey everybody, welcome to Boston.
We're so excited to be your guide to the wacky city of Boston, Massachusetts.
Hello, I'm Paulo Seven.
And I'm Matt Finkelstein,
And welcome to Fast Forward Rewind.
the orientation show that is here to make your college experience the best it can be.
5, 6, 7, 8. President Pelton is our best friend.
President, I am my best friend.
Welcome back. The most fitting way to end our show and our season must be to crown the League of Legends World Champions 2021. After playing every single game in the knockout stage, Edward Gaming pulled off the upset against DK. Who saw this one coming? Obviously not us. How on earth did they pull this off? Ian, tell me.
Well, I just wanted to start out by saying, you were wrong.
You were wrong.
You were wrong.
You were more
I was
wrong.
wrong.
You were more
Hey,
wrong.
hey,
he was
hey.
the most wrong,
Hey,
but you were more
wow.
wrong than me.
All right, all right.
Yeah,
Listen.
don't be upset about your team's losing. At least you made it to the top 3.
Let's break it down, all right? Let's see how this went. So, the supposed real grand finals between T1 and DK. How did it go down?
A point made completely moot now. Just
Oh,
want to
oh, yeah.
point that
Oh,
out.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
Real
no.
grand finals.
The real grand. That's why I put real grand finals in as much air quotes as I can humanly manage, because we'll get to that. But let's start out by talking about Game 5. This Baron. T1 is on that Baron. They have it so secure. It's so set. But this is where we can see DK's real strength. Team fighting. They get the pick. They get the first pick, and now it's a 4v5. Even with Baron buff, DK still has Earth Mountain Soul, which is a huge shield that they just can't get through. They pincer them down, and there's nothing T1 can do.
And it goes to show that like good strategy and good teamwork is going to triumph over whatever buffs your other opponents have.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Like, bottom line, no matter what like buff you get from like a Baron Seek, you get good teamwork and coordination is what's going to pull through.
Oh, that is the most important thing about high-level play like this.
And that's what the team is so good at it too.
Oh yeah, and and DK had excellent objective control that whole game, and that was the one shining light, the one possible way to pull through. But that Mountain Soul, and T1 actually was ahead in gold when they took Baron.
Really?
They were over 1K ahead.
In that moment we just saw.
Right before they got aced. Before they got aced, they were ahead in gold.
And they still beat DK still beat the gold deficit.
Yeah, and the Baron buff.
Oh
it
my
was all about that
goodness.
pick. It was all about that pick and that super long range engage from the Zoe, and it was just tasty.
You saw one of the players on T1 trying to use the Baron to channel out, and
then
just
gets
last
caught,
second
get caught.
got sniped out, and I mean
here
after
we can
that
actually
you're
see
done.
the Elder fight, and this is where the game really ends. And man,
Yeah, you can see the pop off from the coaches. They knew it was
No,
over.
It was
DK are brutal team fighters. That is absolutely their number one
They were
strength
quick.
as a team.
one might say T1 never stood a chance.
Hey, that is not true. That was game 5, all right? Let the record show. That was game 5.
They took it to a game 5
still,
scenario.
yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
they put up a good fight.
Oh, absolutely.
Unfortunately, wasn't good enough to beat
Wasn't
T1.
good
Wasn't
enough
good enough, all right?
to beat
But
DK.
DK, good job, DK. But DK, in the supposed real grand finals, won, only to lose.
Yeah,
in
so
the
that doesn't
actual
make sense.
real
The
grand
way the
finals,
like
against
you're talking
world
about
champions Edward
semifinals
Gaming.
being like the real grand finals,
Yeah.
that
Only
assumes that
to-
whoever
only
wins
find-
that one is
Listen,
winning the whole thing.
Who was expecting Edward Gaming to win? All right,
Not me.
Nobody.
I didn't see that
Absolutely
coming at all.
Nobody.
Any of you? Any of
No,
you?
no.
No,
In
didn't
the
think
studio,
so. No one.
absolutely
Not
No
even
one.
studio knew.
So,
No one in the studio. Yeah, and they know everything.
but man,
What game? Okay, what? How? How did they pull this amazing achievement off?
so
It
game,
seemed like a miracle.
So it felt like oh, they got game 1. That was cute.
Yeah.
Edward
Oh,
Gaming
yeah,
got
yeah.
one. Oh, they got a game. Good for them. It's
Put up a
like
good
it's like
fight,
a, it's
you
like
know?
a it's like a dance recital for
like
kids.
ba-
It's like yeah, they did a good job. And then they start doing ballet on them. And then it's over, dude.
That is a great analogy, given their outstanding
Yeah,
performance.
here's where we're seeing game 4, where Edward Gaming is team fighting pretty early against T1, and again, normally T1 gets the better in team fights, but Edward Gaming just tears it up here. It's out.
Oh, you mean
it's
DK,
right?
DK.
Oh, DK is better in team fights. You're right. Good catch.
Playing,
no
beating out their
problem.
own game. It's interesting. They saw the strategy and took it to them.
Oh yeah. And also, what's really interesting is
Because a lot of teams, just to add
Yeah.
on to what you said, a lot of teams during this whole tournament were trying to avoid team fights with DK
Yes.
and play
Yep.
around and just play the gold advantage, play the lane advantage.
absolutely.
But Edward were like, that does not work for anyone else. DK will find ways to engage in team fights and find ways to still beat you at any other phase in the game. Why don't we just try to take it to them, take a more aggressive
Yeah.
approach?
And that was
It
a
worked.
super early team fight, for especially given all the other team fights that happened after 15 or 20 minutes. It's really the only team fight over objectives, but that was just a team fight in mid lane. That was just I was not expecting that
It was
at
a
all.
team fight for the sake of having a team fight,
Yeah.
which is basically like it is almost like it's deciding like the game really early because whoever wins that team fight is going into a huge advantage, and a
Not
lot of
only-
what
not
league
only
is
did they
is
have
just
the
not
element of
giving up the advantage.
Not only did T1 have the element of surprise, but not only did EDG have the element of surprise,
No,
but
T1's gone, guys. They
they-
lost. They lost.
just want to remind you. But DK is not used to being on the receiving end of those team
No,
fights.
it
They're
is
usually the
absolutely
ones
true.
dealing
They're
out
the one
slobber
engaging.
knockers.
They're usually the ones engaging. But it's funny because
I stole your line. I'm sorry.
And
sorry.
It took me a second
Oh,
to,
my
to realize
all
it.
right, but Edward Gaming won the same way DK won against T1 in Game 5, and because Edward Gaming had better objective control in Game 4. They were absolutely on those dragons. They were on those barons, and they did not give them up at all. Edward Gaming took the soul in Game 4, the dragon soul, which is again has proven to be
Yeah.
pretty the difference.
What does it do for your team if you get the Dragon Soul?
Well, it depends on which Dragon Soul it is. We were
Interesting.
just talking about Mountain Soul and how it gives a shield. In this game, again, this is actually 4 soul point. And now this is, I would say, a very justified team fight. And this one is really back and forth until they take down the support, they take down everyone. It's going down.
So they seem really good at being able just to work together and focus specific
focus
champions.
down specific targets.
Exactly.
And that's all team fighting is. It's getting those picks. It's seeing, oh, the ADC is this far too forward, and just pulling them in, stunning them, whatever, using any kind of crowd control you have. That's the most important part about these team fights. And we can see there they just got Ocean Soul.
It's so impressive that in what looks like, I'm sure you and me, just utter chaos.
Yeah.
Just utter chaos that they're able to like coordinate that easily and know what everything that's going on. It's incredibly impressive.
One thing I wanted to talk about briefly, the real MVP. They said Showmaker was the MVP, Scout was the MVP, some mid laner. No, it's JJ. It's absolutely JJ. The Smite game was off the chain. You can see it in absolutely every single objective fight there is.
Has a jungler ever won MVP? Does that happen?
It's happened. It's happened,
but it's rare. I'm guessing.
Rare. It's usually the mid laner, which I
mid lane. I would assume it was normally ADC.
In this case, listen, ADC is a very weak role right now. Anybody can tell you that. It's the weakest role in the game overall. It has the least impact on the game. You can still be wildly impactful, of course. But it's nothing like mid lane. It's nothing. Jungle is super powerful.
And
right
junglers had such an important role in this series.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why was that?
It was all about objective control, and it was all about those early ganks. It was just JJ was always on it. JJ was on his game. But we can take a look at this team fight over here. It's Edward Gaming.
You can just see the differences that like you can tell that DK was not ready for this just based on the number of players that are engaged in this team fight.
But over here, this is the Baron sneak. And
Oh!
DK actually, this is brutal. And this honestly should have been enough for DK to win if
DK
Edward Gaming had
got
played.
it.
Yeah, DK got it. DK got that Baron. So what happened is the question.
Yeah, I'm confused. I am confusion.
Edward Gaming just played it safe. They hunkered down until that Baron buff ran down.
Really?
Because DK against T1, we saw T1 got Baron, and then they just wiped him to take care of the Baron buff. But instead, here they hunkered down because they knew if they got picked by DK, that would be it. That would be it.
Yeah.
But still. And then finally, there's the Elder team fight, which is the Elder Dragon is a buff that gives all of your attacks an execute threshold. And Edward
Is this the
Gaming,
most important dragon to get at this point? Point in the game?
It's the most important objective, I would say.
Got it.
It's even more powerful than Baron. But you can see Kinnan getting
total
chased.
control from EDG right there.
Oh yeah. On that objective, and then it kind of wavers back and forth. But man, when it comes down to it, Edward Gaming brought it. Absolutely brought it.
Absolutely.
But again, also that Kinnan chasing away, knowing that he's a weaker link, and knowing that it's so important to get the Syndra out of there. Brilliant plays all around.
Yeah.
And again, that smite from JJ, outstanding. Still.
Unbelievable. Who saw this coming? None of
one.
us.
None of us.
Looking at our predictions, we all got it wrong. Just some got it more wrong.
Hey, absolutely not.
At the time, Cloud9 didn't seem that bad.
All right, Mr. NA, Mr. NA fan. All right.
I respect the attempt to stay with NA.
We can agree on one thing. It wouldn't be NA. It would never be NA. All right.
No.
Still.
Come
on. But again,
a boy can dream. A boy can dream.
There will be a day. League is clearly like an immortal game. There will be a day when NA wins the Worlds.
Yes.
That hasn't happened yet, right? I don't think.
And it might not happen
Whatever
soon.
you say, man.
Oh, it won't happen soon at all. But there will be a day.
But
will it be North Americans on the roster? Probably not. But that is not what is important.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my goodness.
Let's watch this end of Worlds. This is the final team fight. This is when it was really over. Edward Gaming's in base. There's a teleport coming in from the back.
This is a year. This is a year of hard work and studying and mastering
dedication.
their
Oh
craft
my
and
Lord.
dedication culminate into one moment. This is what it is all about for these players.
Paid off in such a triumphant way.
Oh yeah.
Bring it
Outstanding.
right to their home base.
Yeah, look at that pop
Yeah.
off. Yeah. You love to see it.
You gotta love a good pop off.
Man, but I still don't believe it. Again, this is one of two worlds World's Grand Finals that has ever gone to Game 5. This is one of two
How many
ever.
have there been?
Worlds, I believe this is the 10th. So
Really?
only two have gone to Game 5. And speaking of Game 5, that game was honestly determined in the pick and bans because
Who did they ban?
so DK got all their junglers banned out except for Jin Zhao. So they were stuck with Jin Zhao while
Edward was.
Edward picked Trundle, which is a direct counter. But again, JJ. It's all about JJ.
Yeah.
So
Exactly, the jungle game, clearly jungle diff, if
Jungle
I must
diff,
say.
jungle diff,
Well,
jungle
that's
diff.
all the time we have for you today and for this season. Before we sign off, I want to give a special thanks to our amazing studio crew. Clap it up, guys. Come on. From everyone in the studio, to the control room, to the editors at home, our social media coordinator. And I'd like to give a very special thank you to the people on my right and left. Ian, Jack, it's been a pleasure doing this with you. Wouldn't want to have anyone else by my side. It's been awesome. Come on, guys. Let's just. We had fun.
I had a blast.
We had fun. We had a blast. Come on. And lastly, to our executive producers, Mikayla, Karin, and Sam, thank you for all that you've given to our show over the last 2 seasons. Without you guys, none of us would be here. It's that simple. Thanks again for joining us today on Critical Damage. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Critical Damage EC. For the last time, for Ian Copeland and Jack Ryber, I'm Will Snyder, signing off.